course, it's December. The weather is getting colder. Let's find out what precautions pet owners should take and much more. Right now, we say hello to Bruce Roney, who is the president and CEO of the Ottawa Humane Society. Always a pleasure to have you on the program.
Hi, Dylan. Thanks for having us.
Dominique Lalonde is here as well, coordinator Canine Services with the OHS. Hi, Dominic.
Hello.
And who do you have with the cute boots on?
I brought a little friend. Yeah. This is Naya. Naya is a 7-year-old boxer pointer mix. Came to the shelter, needed a little bit of TLC as she's a little bit of an older gal, but we're getting her ready for adoption.
That is great. Okay, so Bruce, this time of year, does it get real busy with the holidays upon us?
Well, the numbers actually of intake drop considerably once the weather turns cold, but what we find is we're bringing in animals that need more care. Naya, for example, needed a lot of dental work before she could be ready for a new home. So sometimes it's the cold weather that's causing problems, and sometimes it's just something that's been developing for a while. So we're certainly busy getting animals ready for adoption.
And I know you bring in about 10,000 animals a year, so you do good things. We'll find out how people can help in a big way coming up in moments. But Dominic, let's talk about these precautions when it comes to keeping our pets safe with the outdoor elements.
Yes, so the outdoor elements can be quite damaging for some of our pets. So not only the extreme colds that we get here in Ottawa, so sometimes you just want to have a coat or limit their access to the outdoors. So just keep it short, quick activities outside, and then focus a lot on enrichment and activities inside that work their brain so that they don't have to be outside for as long.
Some other elements, of course, I mean, salt is bad when they get into their paws.
Yes. So often a lot of people think that it's the cold on their feet, but it's a lot to do with the salt and the amount of salt that's on the roads. It can be quite irritating for their feet. So as Naya is demonstrating here, you can either choose to fit your dog with some boots. There are alternatives. Some dogs don't like those big clunky boots, so you can have these little balloon booties. But not every dog likes to have boots on. So if your dog doesn't like to have boots on, we recommend you keep a towel at the front door and you make sure that you really wipe them down thoroughly, because you don't want them licking their feet and ingesting that salt and all those chemicals.
And it's always important as well that the dog is well identified, correct?
Yes, identification is very important because we want to make sure that we can get your pet back to you as fast as possible. So having collars with identification, having a microchip that's up to date will make sure that the animal isn't stuck outside in this horrible weather, especially for those cats that don't have anywhere to go and may get frostbite. We have a lot of dogs and cats that get frostbites and it damages them.
Okay, let's talk about some other general tips. I know there's lots to get to here, but we want to pick the big stuff here that people can definitely pay attention to when it comes to car engines, because you were mentioning animals, sometimes they get cold. Cats, they go near the cars.
Cats, small animals, wildlife gets cold, they jump into the car engine. So it's really important before you start your car, just bang on the hood of the car real quick and to try to scare off any critters that would have kind of gone into there, and it helps just prevent that cat being transported into an engine.
Okay, and is it true that animals actually like the taste of antifreeze?
Yes, so antifreeze is very sweet and very sugary, so they're attracted by the smell of it, then they're going to ingest it, and it's actually really toxic. So if your animal ever ingests any antifreeze, or you suspect that they ingested antifreeze, it's important to contact your veterinarian as soon as possible. They could start vomiting, having diarrhea, and it's really not great.
Okay, Bruce, let's talk about the Ottawa Humane Society. Of course, the impact the increase of animals has throughout the year. I mean, the winter, what happens at the OHS when there's these animals brought in?
Well, as I said earlier, the animals that we see this time of the year tend to need a lot more care than the ones we need in the summer.
Yeah.
And so things like dentistry, things like the effect of the cold weather. Tail amputations, unfortunately, are very common in the winter for cats that have been left outside. And so we have to go that extra mile for the animals that we're seeing in the winter typically.
Okay, so to go that extra mile, there has to be funds.
There does.
So?
And we really hope people will join our PAW monthly giving program.
Okay.
It's easy. It's very straightforward, and it's more affordable for most people because you can do it monthly. And it just comes off your credit card or out of your bank account every month, and it's helping the animals all year round.
And it really is as simple as just going to a website?
Absolutely.
Your website?
Yeah, ottawahumane.ca. It's one of the first things you're going to see is to be able to sign up for our PAW program.
And I can imagine that'd probably make a nice gift for somebody as well if you were to sign up to the PAW program in somebody's name.
That would be a very
Put it in
nice
the card.
thing
There
as
you go.
well. Absolutely.
Okay. Dominic, you're always looking for volunteers as well. That's always something important.
Yes,
24/7
we're always
year-round.
looking for volunteers. There's always something to do. The shelter is a busy place. There are cat programs, so volunteering with cats, volunteering with dogs, but there's also a lot of paperwork and stuff in the background. So we need volunteers calling for supporters, and we also need volunteers to process some of those donations. So any sort of background you have, we can use your help.
We appreciate your time, and it was almost a fashion segment with those cute boots as well.
There you go.
Looking great. Thank you, Bruce, Dominic, and thank you very much as well, Naya, for being here. So much fun.
So much excitement.
More daytime coming up on Rogers TV.